Stupid wars like in the army for like no reason. Why?
All right, I'd like to go ahead and start the public hearing and public comment section of our public hearing section of the Tuesday, May 18, 2021 Wards Board of Alderman meeting. Before we do that, can we review the public hearing and public comment policy? It's off. It's off, I guarantee you. It's turning red.
Working now.
So I'd like to go ahead and open up the Wards Board of Alderman meeting for May 18, 2021 to the public hearing section. If we could we review the public hearing and public comment policy real quick, please? Hang on one sec. Can we review that verbally?
No, we're good.
Everybody knows it?
No, he's going to read it.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry.
No, we're good. As long as somebody's reading it.
Public hearing policy, public comments. City staff will present requests inclusions of necessary items into the record.
You're too tall. I'm too short or offside, so.
Applicants and representatives will be given 10 minutes to present projects and information. Public will be given 5 minutes to provide comments. When buzzer goes off, 30 additional seconds given to conclude remarks. After the public has spoke, applicants will be given 5 minutes to address any issues and concerns brought forth during public comments. This dialogue is with the board, not the public. Speakers shall not directly question applicants. All comments are to be directed to the board, mayor, or attorney. On zoning matters that do not require public hearing, the same protocol will be followed during the public comments section for each zoning item. At no time are speakers allowed to yield their time to another speaker to allow more than 5 minutes. Discussion of the agenda items. During the agenda items, discussion and comments from the board only will occur. No public input.
Thank you, Tim. With that, we'll head to the public hearing section for the Bennington Place Apartments, CUP-75.
All right, good evening, Mayor and board members. As a preliminary matter, I ask that the planning and zoning report be made part of the record by reference. The minutes from the planning and zoning meeting be made part of the record by reference. The city comprehensive plan and the city ordinance be made part of the record by reference. Public hearing notice published in the Warren County Record for the planning and zoning meeting on May 6th and tonight's meeting be made part of the record by reference. Tonight I'm presenting to you the Bennington Place Apartments conditional use permit number 75. It's a .071 acres on the west side of Arlington Way. It's zone C3, Highway Commercial District. The applicant is Pollard Properties, LLC. Lewis and Bay Incorporated, on behalf of Pollard Properties, LLC, has submitted an application for conditional use permit approved for 0.71 acres of land at the intersection of Arlington Way and Armory Road. The conditional use permit is a request to allow multifamily dwelling units on the site with site plan depicting 2 buildings served by a shared parking lot. The Bennington Place apartment was presented at the May 6th planning and zoning meeting with no public comments. The conditional use permit was approved 6-0, with 2 absent and 2 vacancies. The staff has reviewed the proposed site plan. Our conditional use recommends approval request with the following conditions. A lighting plan complying with the Warrenton City Code shall be provided to the city prior to issuance of a building permit. A detail of the trash enclosure verifying compliance with the Warrenton City Code shall be provided to the city prior to issuance of the issuance of the building permit. And prior to commencing of any grading on the site, erosion control measures shall be installed to ensure settlement does not leave the site. The applicant and Bart Corman from Lewis and Beatty's here tonight also. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board
How you doing,
Alderman. For the record, I'm Bart Corman with Lewis & Beatty Surveyors and Engineers. I have with me Adam Pollard, the applicant here with Pollard Properties LLC. Tim did a pretty good job introducing the conditional use, I think is what we're on first, right? Conditional use, which then falls into the site plan, which will be the next public hearing. But it's 10 units where Ron's restaurant used to be before it burnt down. So it was a previously developed site. And so we're putting a 6-unit building and a 4-unit building towards the back with parking in the middle, and meeting all the codes, putting in our landscape requirements and things like that. And I'll answer any questions anybody has throughout the night at the appropriate time.
Guess I should say, any questions from the board?
No, I'm good.
Public? All right.
Okay, so the next item is the Bennington Place Apartments, Site Plan 147. As a preliminary matter, I ask that the planning and zoning report be made part of the record by reference. The minutes from the planning and zoning meeting be made part of the record by reference. The city comprehensive plan and city ordinance be made part of the record by reference. The public hearing notice published in the Warren County Record for the planning and zoning meeting on May 6th, and tonight's meeting be made part of the record by reference. The Bennington Place Apartment Site Plan 147 goes along with the conditional use permit that was just presented. Lewis & Beatty, on behalf of Pollard Properties LLC, has submitted an application for a site plan approval for the 0.71 acres of land intersection of Arlington Way and Armory Road. The site is requested to allow multifamily dwelling units on the site, with the site plan depicting 2 buildings served by a shared parking lot. The Bennington Place Apartment Site Plan 147 was presented to the May 6th Planning and Zoning with no public comments. The site plan was approved 6-0 with 2 absence and 2 vacancies. The staff recommendations are the same as on the conditional use permit.
Thank you.
For the record, Bart Corman, Lewis & Beatty, Adam Pollard with Pollard Properties. Pretty much the same thing we talked about on conditional use. This is the site plan. We have 2 spaces more than the minimum requirement on parking spaces. And a couple of things on the conditional use will be addressed at the construction plan process to make that appropriate. And I'm here to answer any questions on the site plan.
Hey, Bart, the only I just have a quick question for my own knowledge. What's the exterior of those going to be? Are we looking at brick or just?
First story front, and then vinyl siding above.
Okay, that's fine. That's all, just for my own knowledge.
I hate to say it, Bart, can you repeat that so it's on the...
Sure. So brick on the first story on the front, and then vinyl siding above that is the answer, so that way everybody can hear it on the record.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is
Not
so
a
that when
problem.
we get to producing that in public, they don't go, well, I heard somebody faint in the background. It's just, we catch a lot of flack for that sometimes.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Adam.
Any questions? Okay. I'll go ahead and bring the public hearing section to a close, and I will open a regular Board of Aldermen meeting for Tuesday, May 18, 2021. If you would, please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance with us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda will be the consent agenda.
We have the regular meeting minutes from May 4th, 2021.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, seconded by Alderman Deloy, roll call vote.
Alderman Deloy,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz is absent. Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Quarter,
Yes.
Alderman Cullum,
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with 1 absent. Next will be hearing from the public. If there's something you'd like to address with the board or bring up in any way, please step forward to the microphone and the podium. We'll give you 5 minutes to speak. We ask that you please speak your name clearly and legibly so we can have that for the record. Not seeing any, we'll move on. Next will be Board of Alderman comments. Are there any?
No, come on.
Not tonight.
Next will be mayor's comments. So the only thing I'd like to readdress is, I put something out there a while back, I'm going to put it out there again. If you're within the city limits and you see someone doing a nice charitable act or something that's good in nature, we ask that you come forward or send us an email or something so we can nominate some people for good deeds and recognize them through either a proclamation or what be it of the good deed they've done for our city. We have a lack thereof, and I'm asking, please, start looking at things that your neighbors do that are considerate, put them up for it, and we'll recognize them in front of the board. I think we have plenty of people to go above and beyond what they really need to do in life that we could be doing recommendations for. The unfortunate part is nobody has submitted them. So I will once again ask and plead for the public to please come forward so we can recognize some of these people within our city. Next will be the public comment section.
Next item on the agenda, the Farmers Mutual Insurance Site Plan 146. Site plan, zoning is C2 General Commercial District. The applicant is going to be the Farmers Mutual Insurance. Project summary, Martin Myers, on behalf of the Farmer Mutual Insurance of Warren County, has submitted an application for a site plan approval for 1 acre of land on the east side of Highway 47 across from Bruni Parkway. The site plan shows construction of an office building and associate improvements on the site. The subject site is zone C2, General Commercial District, and is surrounded by properties of the same zoning classification. The proposed includes accessing Highway 47 through a shared access location shared with the library to the south of the subject site. Parking is provided on both east and west side of the proposed building to serve the 4,580 square foot facility. The Farmer Mutual Insurance Site Plan was presented at the May 6 Planning and Zoning. The site plan was approved 6-0 with 2 absents and 2 vacancies. Staff has reviewed the proposed site plan and found the proposed to consist with Chapter 410 of the subdivision regulation of Warrenton Municipal Code. Staff recommends approval of the plat submitted. I'm not sure if Mr. Myers is here tonight to speak on it.
I'm not seeing any representative or anything else. Go ahead and move on. Is there anybody who'd like to speak on that issue from the public? Okay, go ahead, Tim.
Next item on the agenda is the Park Hills rezone, zone change 67. It's 35.34 acres on the west side of Morgan Street, approximately 1,575 feet south of West Walton Street. Rezoning from Ag to R3. The applicant is Ben Beckemeyer Construction, LLC. Corey Eldfeld, on behalf of Ben Beckemeyer Construction, LLC, has submitted an application for a change in zoning for the 35.34 acres on the west side of South Morgan Street, approximately 1,575 feet south of West Walton Street. The request is to rezone the area from AG to R3 high-density residential district. The subject site is identified in the comprehensive plan for a future single-family development. In reviewing the characteristics of the subject tract, the presence of Big Creek running north and south through the site defines the subject site. Below is an image showing the FEMA flood information on the site. You guys should have a copy of the FEMA map. This plan was presented, Park Hill's zone change was presented with no public comments to the May 6th Planning and Zoning. The motion passed 6-0 with 2 absent and 2 vacancies. Staff recommendations. Staff has reviewed the request to rezone the subject site from AG Agricultural Reserve District to R3 High Density Residential District. All items and notices as required by the state and local law have been provided and completed. The proposal is consistent with the future land use map, and the staff is supportive of the change in zoning from AG to R3. Okay. The applicant, Ben Beckermeyer, is here tonight, so that's all I have on that.
At this time, if the applicant would like to, or representative would like to come up and speak, you'll be given 10 minutes to speak on the project.
Good evening. Ben Beckmeyer. We've presented this and worked extensively with the city on rezoning and the plat on this. We've had some significant, troubles getting it kind of through and everything, and we've changed it around 3 or 4 times, and it kind of, we've moved on to a new comprehensive plan, and we tried to make everything fit within the what the city wanted, and we feel like we've met those requirements now, and we're just ready to move forward, try to bring some more people to the city so we can help with the growth and everything that we can. But other than that, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Questions at this time?
Not this time.
Not at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Any other representative? Okay, we'll go ahead and let the public speak at this time. So anybody from the public, whether in favor or opposed, we'll give you 5 minutes to provide comments. When buzzer goes off, 30 additional seconds given to conduct remarks. Please come forward and state who you are.
I'm Clifton Wolf. I live at 434 Highway U, the last house in the city limits. And I have about a minute statement here that I hope this is the right place and time for this. Several years ago, we applied for and received permission to create the the Oak Acre subdivision. This was before the requirement for a second entry by road into the subdivision. Therefore, it is a one-entry subdivision. I don't know what the consequences are or will be in the future for homes in a one-entry area. I suppose it may regard home insurance. Oak Acres and Morgan Street are both one-entry areas. Park Hill approval would solve both of these one-entry safety requirements. If Park Hill is approved, my 4 great-grandchildren and everyone else living in Oak Acres could get to school, work, parks, etc. with a much shorter, safer drive and eliminate Highway U travel. Highway U does not have a sidewalk. Morgan Street does. Therefore, I am asking that you favorably consider the Park Hill subdivision applications. Thanks for listening to me, and unless you have questions, that's all I have.
Questions? The board? Thank you, Mr. Wolf.
I hope that was the right time.
You're fine, you're fine. Anyone else? It is. Sure, come on up. Just state your name and then.
Charlie Nordwall. Good evening, Mayor, Board of Aldermen. I have no problem with the Beckermeyer subdivision in Park Hills. I have had Mayor Sleater out to my farm. He is fully aware of our problem and the watershed that we suffer from the city of Warrenton. I'm all about development, don't have any problem with that. My problem is about water retention, and I'm probably 20 years too late, but nonetheless, I'm here this evening to beg the city of Alderman to protect some of us downstream from, I know we're going to get a certain amount of water, we always got a certain amount of water, but it comes so much faster now and so much more violent than it used to. It's put water on our farm in the last year where there's never been water, and I've been there 65 years, and it's putting water over top of my bottoms, and it's putting water where it's never been before. And I know we have to have development, I have no problem with that, but we need to take care of the fact that we need to slow down the water. And we're getting lots of it. Since Rural Kings went in and the Walmart, we get all that water down my way, and it's just, it's impossible to hold. And I've had Corps of Engineers there, I've had soil and water people there, I've had all the amenities in the government to say, yeah, you got a problem, Charlie, but we ain't gonna do nothing to help you. You're on your own. And so that's my comments for this evening.
Well,
thank you.
Before you step away, well, I ain't picking up here, I guess.
Just take a deep breath, Eric, and let her out.
No kidding.
It's worked for me for years.
Lack of words is something I've never been short of. This is true. I've walked the property with you, and walked with Commissioner Gildehouse as well.
Yeah.
You see the evidence of erosion. You could blame it on whatever you want. I understand the point is that a lot of, we get these studies done for watersheds or water area or wetlands as they would call it. Wetlands for me would be a place we go hunting in more so than what they're citing it as. But I understand what's being said is that there's a lot more water running down quickly because of trees or what be it being taken out for development. That water comes down faster instead of being blocked up or trickling down, and just causes a lot of force to come down with that water. So I get where he's coming from, and Mr. Nordwalt's kind of at a point where, what do you do? The engineering is only developed for that area, not for downstream. So he's kind of taking all the flack of what's going on, but trying to be nice and neighborly and say, let's work together. Yeah. And I think that is something we need to take into consideration and start working with every developer where it ties into an area that affects land downstream. It's not fair that we do develop and all of a sudden downstream somebody's property is destroyed due to development upstream. I think it is something that, in an ecological responsibility we need to look at and start working with our neighbors upon, or we're starting to, I believe we're starting to get pushback from those neighbors downstream that are farmers and farming their property that they can't do that again. I know the past response from our board wasn't ignorant, but it was, what do you expect us to do with it? And it never was answered. So I'm glad you came up and I'm glad you spoke today, because it is something I think we do need to kind of take note of and start working towards being a friendly neighbor.
I want to be. If I can indulge the board 1 minute sooner, Tom and Tim and I are working on a project downtown Warrenton. I want to commend them publicly right here in front of the board, and anybody's listening, they've been super good to deal with. They've been very knowledgeable and very forthcoming and pleasure to deal with.
Thank you. We don't get too many comments like that, so thank you. Anyone else like to make a comment? All right. We'd like to give the applicant another 5 minutes to address any issues or concerns brought forth during the public comments. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, come on up.
Well, thank you. So we've worked extensively, with the Corps, DNR, and everyone else on this project. We've put extra retention in there just for these reasons, because it is along the creek, and we have met with some, opposal on the property, but for sure, everything that we're working toward is not to cause any more harm downstream than what already has happened. So, Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, give me a minute to catch up on my notes here. All right. So I'm a little lost because this is the first time we've actually had to implement this. Where do the board can make comment?
The agenda item, so they don't do it now, they make it down when it gets down here to the, under Tim. What's
Closer
an
to
agenda item?
the director.
Yes. Yeah. This is
Excellent,
just
thank you.
public comments right now.
I'm sure I'm not the only one that was kind of waiting for the guidance.
it.
So I'll just take the fall, I'll be the fall guy on it.
There you go.
Thank you. All right, Tim, if you'd like to come forward and proceed with the Morgan Street boundary line adjustment.
The next project is the Morgan Street boundary line adjustment. The applicant is Warrington 1 LLC. Lewis and Beatty Incorporated, on behalf of Warrington LLC, has submitted an application for a boundary line adjustment plat for 16,800 square foot area of land on the east side of Morgan Street, south of West Walton Street, at 206 to 208 Morgan Street. The plans to modify 2 existing lots by creating 2 8,400 square foot lots, each having 1 duplex structure located on it. No modifications to utilities are proposed, and in conjunction with changes in the lot configuration. Morgan Street boundary line adjustment was presented in the May 6th Planning and Zoning, and it was approved 6-0 with 2 absences and 2 vacancies. Staff has reviewed the proposed boundary line adjustment plat and found the proposal is consistent with Chapter 410, the subdivision regulation of Warrington Municipal Code. The staff recommends approval of the plat as submitted.
So just a clarification, that is Warrington 1 LLC, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The applicant and Lewis and Beatty's.
Excellent.
Yep.
Would the applicant or representative like to come forward, and we'll give you 10 minutes to speak and present the project and info.
For the record, Bart Corman, Lewis and Beatty. Adam Pollard with Warrington 1 LLC is here as well. And so basically, there's 2 existing duplexes on this property. We're creating the line in between the 2 so that the lines don't go in the middle of the duplexes. We're not changing anything other than creating the line in between them and creating two parcels, both 8,400 square feet, to do that properly, meet the square footage requirements, and go from there.
Is there, okay,
That's all I got.
thank you. Anyone from the public, whether in favor or opposed, we'll give you 5 minutes to speak. Just please come forward, state who you are. When the buzzer goes off, 30 additional seconds will be given to conclude the remarks. Just clarification. Not see anybody, we'll move on. Unless, Bart, you'd like your 5 minutes to make comment to no comments made.
Later when it gets late in the night.
Well, no offense, Mr. Nordwall, but you were a state rep as well, Bart. I figured you may want to comment afterwards. Tim, go ahead.
Okay, the next project is the Granada boundary line adjustment. The applicant is Warrington 1 LLC. Lewis and Beatty Incorporated, on behalf of Warrington 1 LLC, has submitted an application for a boundary line adjustment plat for a 20,193 square foot area of land on Granada Drive, south of Market Street, at 309 to 315 Granada Drive. The plan modifies 2 existing lots by creating 2 lots that exceed the minimum requirements for the lot design standards in the R3 district. No modifications to utility services proposed as part of the change in the lot configuration. The area is zoned residentially under the provision of R3 high-density residential district requirements. Any further developments of the area is subject to the review to ensure compliance with all provisions of the R3 district and city code requirements. The Granada boundary line adjustment was presented to the May 6th Planning and Zoning, It was approved 6-0 with 2 absence and 2 vacancies. Staff has reviewed the proposed boundary line adjustment plat and found the proposal to be consistent with Chapter 410 subdivision regulations of the Warrenton Municipal Code. Staff recommends approval of the plat submitted. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Duly noted as Mr. Corman is the representative.
Thank you. And I got quite a few 10-minute segments. I could really drag this meeting out tonight, but I'm not going to, even though ball games were rained out for me, so, you know, I don't have a place to go yet tonight. This one's very similar to the last one. It's down there at Granada. There was actually parts of 3 lots there. We're making it into 2 lots and putting the line in between the 2 existing duplexes. It's simple as that.
Any comment from the public, either favor or opposed? 5 minutes to provide comments, and then the buzzer goes off. You get 30 additional seconds to conclude your remarks. Please come forward and state your name. Not see anybody, we'll move on.
The next project is the Troy Road duplexes. It's a preliminary plat and a final plat together. The applicant is Warrenton 1 LLC. Lewis and Beatty Incorporated, on behalf of Warrenton 1 LLC, has submitted an application for preliminary and final plat at 408 Troy Road. The preliminary and final plat depicts splitting of an existing lot with 2 duplex structures into 2 lots, each having 1 duplex building located on the site. Proposed Lot 1 will have frontage on Troy Road. Proposed Lot 2 will have access off the alley, which is how the building is currently being accessed. The Troy Road duplex preliminary and final plat was presented at the May 6th Planning and Zoning with no public comments and was approved 6-0 with 2 absence and 2 vacancies. Staff has reviewed the proposed boundary line adjustment, or the preliminary plat and final plat, and found that the proposal is consistent with Chapter 410 subdivision regulations of Warrenton Municipal Code. Staff recommends approval of the plat as submitted. And Bart is here to speak on that one.
Thank you. Art's going to request a designated chair closer.
Right. All right. So this one, Warrenton 1 LLC as well. This one's different than the previous 2 because we couldn't do a boundary adjustment plat because there were not enough old lots there. It's all one tract. So we're proposing to split it. There are 2 existing duplexes, so we're splitting it between the 2. One will access off of Troy Road, the other access off the alley there right next to the water tower and the senior center. No additional utilities or anything. The one thing that we do want to note, and that's a request, is to allow for contribution into the sidewalk funds instead of constructing sidewalks along Troy and along the alley, which is at the discretion of the Board of Aldermen, so that is our request. And I know our city attorney will make sure that we do that in a proper manner. So, and then the final plat basically is the record plat. That is the one that'll get recorded, creating the 2 lots. And I'll answer any questions anybody may have.
Once again, from the public, either favor or opposed, we give you 5 minutes to speak and provide comments. When buzzer goes off, 30 additional seconds given to conclude remarks. I actually love that we have this up there because it's a little larger than the piece of paper I had to remind myself on this. And as I get older, my eyes aren't as great, so. I know the people that will be watching this later doesn't see it, but we do have it posted. I think that's why I get little Snickers from our city crew. It's posted everywhere, so. Not seeing anybody, we'll move on.
The next item on the agenda is the Park Hill subdivision. It's a 35.34 acres on the west side of Morgan Street, approximately 1,575 feet south of West Walton. The project is a preliminary plat. The applicant is Ben Beckemeyer Construction, LLC. Summary, Corey Eckenfels of Ben Beckemeyer Construction, LLC has submitted an application for preliminary plat for the 35.34 acre tract of land located west side of South Morgan Street across from Brinkley Woods and Spectre Lake. The request is to establish 97 single-family residence lots with associated infrastructure to support the development. The submitted plan indicates the project will be developed in phases, with phase 1 generally being on the east side of Big Creek, to include 20 homes on the east side of the creek and approximately 75 homes on the west side of the creek for phase 2. 2 entrances are required for any subdivision with more than 30 homes. The current landowner to the south of this parcel has agreed to put in a road leading out to Wolf Road as an entrance and exit. Coleman Road is a city street, and the applicant has agreed to use this street for construction interests when the west side begins, gating it off once construction is completed. We have a signed agreement with the applicant stating that any additional damage to Morgan Street will be repaired by the developer. Pictures were taken of Morgan showing the already needed repairs. The Park Hill subdivision preliminary plat was presented to the May 6 Planning and Zoning. The motion passed 5-1 with 2 absent and 2 vacancies. The staff recommends approval of the preliminary plat with the following conditions. Develop of phase 2 or later phases is not permitted until access to the western portion of the subject site is provided. To the south or to the west, guaranteeing in form acceptable to the city. Provide a flood plan development permit for all work within the regulatory flood plan. Provide a parking lane striping plan to the public works as required by the City of Warrenton Ordinance 2550. And construction traffic shall utilize South Morgan for phase 1 of the development, and Coleman shall only be utilized for construction access to phase 2 or later phases of the development. Coleman will not be used once construction is completed. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Applicant or representative be given 10 minutes to present project and info.
Thank you. So once again, we've worked with the city on this extensively, trying to make the 2 entrances work out. And as Mr. Wolf said, he's agreed to put a road in from the south side of our property over to Wolf Road to make that happen. We've met all the requirements that they've asked of us, and any comments that were left will be addressed at the construction stage. But other than that, we should be, any questions you have? So, all right.
I'm sure we will later, but.
Got it.
All right, anybody from the public that would like to either be in favor or opposed will be given 5 minutes to provide comments. The buzzer goes off, 30 additional seconds given to conclude remarks. If you would, just state your name when you come to the podium.
For the record, my name is Dan Boozacruz. I live at 321 South Morgan, and my property borders on the south and on the west, so we're rounded. My question, and I brought this up at Planning and Zoning, and I thought maybe the Board of Aldermen would, and maybe others in the city could nail it down a little further. Mine deals with infrastructure in reference to the present sewer line size. And I bring this up because during the month of April, Public Works was down on our driveway 3 times. And we have no problem with Public Works using our driveway. It's a good access to the manholes that are in the back of our property. And there's 2 manholes, really 3 manholes, 2 on my property, 1 on the development's property. And those 2 manholes that seem to continually plug up are within about 2 feet of the water drainage ditch that takes all the water underneath Morgan that goes behind the old swimming pool. And it goes on, to the west. And those lids actually pop off, and I've been quite surprised at the amount of times that the lids come off the manholes with the existing homes that are there now coming from Bruni and other places. First you'd think, well, maybe just water runoff during a high volume of rain, but when the lids pop off, you've got toilet paper and waste coming up off the manholes. And I know that Safe Holland have had some issues too with their manholes, with the Public Works actually having to go down there and lime it, clean it out, and do those types of things. So I guess my question is, are you folks aware of a definite timeline on when this development will tie into the new city sewer that's coming up from the south going north? Is that in the books? Is that on the map?
Address that now.
Yes, I'd like. I'm sure we
And
don't
that's
have.
all.
I'm gonna let John
I'm sure we
address
don't
it.
have a
He
definite
knows a
date.
lot
I'm
more about
sure
it than I do.
we would probably refer it to John anyway.
Okay.
So we'll let him. You can stand up.
Okay.
So in this next fiscal year's budget, we have budgeted the engineering portion of that project to go from where they left off in front of the school building on the service road.
Right.
They came all the way down through there, stopped there. We're going to go from there all the way up past your house, your house there, and I'm not 100% sure where it's going to stop up there because they haven't done the engineering on it yet, but all that will be replaced with correct size mains. That's the biggest issue, is that it's an undersized main at this point for rain events. And the old infrastructure in town, when all the old houses used to tie in the downspouts, is the biggest issue, is the I&I issue. So, but that will be addressed with the next sewer project. So the engineering portion, we're hoping that will be in the budget this next fiscal year, as long as the board approves that. So
that about how many homes then could be tied onto the existing sewer now with Ben's development?
So
would you approximate?
When you talk about tying on new homes, we're not tying on a bunch of I&I with that. So as far as the daily flows, the size of the mains are okay. They're adequate. The rain events and the large I&I issues we have in the older parts of town is the issue we have with the current size mains. So I mean, and if we could go to everybody's house and disconnect their downspouts and everything like that, you know, we could solve the issue and not have to put larger mains in. But the easier, faster way to solve the problem is increase the size of the mains that are there. So that's the current plan.
And what size main will that be? Just
that I don't know yet. They'll have to do the engineering and the flow testing and everything on that. It's 24 to where they stopped at the service road there. So I would imagine it's going to be 24 at least most of the way, you know, and it could jump down to like an 18 or something as it gets closer up to the end where there's not a lot of I&I either. So
What is the current one? Just for
I believe it's 8.
It's small.
It's small. Yes.
We got coming up 2 or 3 feet above a manhole. I haven't seen that many times, but we've moved back and remodeled when my mom passed away that home, and it's been quite interesting to see those manholes actually come off. So it's been quite an experience.
Yeah, but the daily flows are not going to affect the current system. I mean, you don't have the manhole blowing off right now when it's not raining that bad right now. I guess it is raining, but your normal daily flows are not the issue. It's the storm flows that's the issue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Alderman. My name's Rick Davis, and I live at 323 South Morgan. Just bought that home. It's just been built. I have the same concerns that Dan and the Boozy Cruise families all have, because we all live right there on the same street. I'm really concerned about that creek and that water, because you go to building a bunch of homes up on the side of a hill. During the construction, there's going to be a lot of stuff fall down in that creek. A lot of stuff's going to come down that creek. And if that creek starts backing up, they're gonna have a flood situation, and so with the rest of us that live down below. So my concern is the runoff, and that they'll, be taken care of as they're built. I don't have nothing against construction, but when you're talking about 20 homes or 100 homes, you're talking a lot of sewer and a lot of water and a lot of other things that's going to take place. And if the sewer system ain't capable of handling it, it sounds like we're getting the cart before the horse. It's something that has got to give here a little bit, one way or the other, because you can't build a bunch of homes if you ain't got no place for the sewer or the water to run off to. So that's my main concern, and also the traffic. Thank you for hearing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, Board and Mayor. My name's Brad Boozy-Cruz. I live at 319 South Morgan. I guess my biggest concern is going to be the traffic. I know what kind of traffic we have now with the park system, with both parks that are there now, the one-way in. And I guess I'm a little concerned, Mr. Wolf said he can go through his property. I was kind of odd because on the 5th I got a postcard from Stacy Blondin wanting to sell me the other lot that joins up with Mr. Wolf's over there that actually has the road frontage. And I guess maybe he's made a deal with them to continue that road through there. Is that what you have, Mr. Wolf, to go through there? You have a deal with them, or?
I have a recorded road easement across there. And it's, the city has a copy, Mr. Beckmeyer has a copy. So
right.
I have the property that isn't mine, I have a, I have a recorded road easement.
Okay, because that doesn't show anywhere on any of the legal stuff that I've been looking at. Okay. So then, as Mr. Wolf said, people don't want to go out on Highway U. At the last meeting, they thought that would be an ideal way for these people to go out on Highway U. So now what you're telling me is everybody's going to be coming through from Wolf, all those people are going to come out on South Morgan Street, which is I think one of the second smallest streets in the city. So I guess you all are planning to do a major overhaul on the street before this project gets started. I would hope you all would look at it. The bridges, I'm sure you're going to have to look at those because those are just old concrete culverts that are put in there, covered with blacktop. It was a park road. It wasn't really meant to be a city street. They kept widening and kept adding stuff to it. So I'm looking at the safety of the people who's going to be coming out of the park. If we got, say, you got 95 homes, might as well figure 200 cars. Easy. We look at it, you can take that out at Forest Ridge. What's out there? Most of those having 3 or 4 cars. You're looking at the same type situation. It's a lot of people coming out on one little road up here. So I just want you all to take that into consideration. No problem with phase 1, Creekside, no problem. The other half, I don't see how you all can do that unless you have this nailed down in stone with this second way out. I just I've seen it before. I've been here long enough. I've seen all the stuff that the city has to go in and fix. That before the developer, we build it and then we go in and fix it. And that's where most of our money goes. So I just want y'all to take that into consideration. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to come forward and either be whether it be for or opposed and speak about it? Not seeing anybody, we'll give the applicant 5 minutes to address any issues or concerns brought forth during public comments.
All right, thank you. So we've addressed the traffic issue with the second entrance, and as Mr. Boozercruz was saying, everything, we can't even pull any permits on the second half until the second entrance is in place and ready to go. So as far as the first phase and then stopping at the second phase, I mean, that's pretty much what we had planned to do anyhow until that entrance is in. So, and then the construction traffic won't be through the second phase either. As Tim said, we have to use Coleman Street instead of Morgan Street. So the first 20, which is the smaller amount of the whole project, will be the only construction traffic that is on Morgan Street. Everything else will come through Coleman Road off of Highway U, and then things should calm down after those first 20 are built. But as far as like the runoff issues and things like that, we've like I say, worked with the Corps of Engineers, DNR. We've got a SWIP plan and everything up to specs and according to the ordinances and everything that we need. We're trying to do everything as it is supposed to be done. So we should be following, like I say, there shouldn't be anything rolling into the creek to stop it. There's silt fence in place right now for all of that. It's just, so as far as blocking up the creek, that's not going to happen. But I know there was other homes built there that they just approved last year, 3 of them, I guess, on that street, you know, so I don't know. So have any questions?
Thanks. Taking notes. Got to take notes on it all, so if there are any questions afterwards, we're educated on it, and I can't have to try and recall it. I can go back and read it. All right. Any other? Tim, do we have anything else on there?
Last item, sir.
I'm sorry?
That was the last item, sir.
Okay. All right, so move on to the approved caterer liquor license for Mama's Covered LLC for Fruling, I hate saying this word, Fruling Fest on June 12, 2021. Did I say it correctly? All right, just making sure.
Does it matter?
No, it really doesn't because it's already out there. I'll entertain a motion to approve the liquor license for Mama's Cupboard for the Fruling Fest.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, seconded by Alderman Jaspering, correct? Roll call vote.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Deloy.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with 1 absent. Next item on the agenda would be approve the picnic liquor license for the Elks Lodge for June 6, 2021. Any questions in regards to that? I'll entertain a motion to approve the picnic liquor license for Elks Lodge for June 6, 2021.
So moved. Second. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Deloy, seconded by Alderman Quarter. Roll call vote, I'm sorry.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Deloy.
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0 with 1 absent. Next, we'll hear from City Administrator Brandy Walters.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. The first item that I have for you tonight is the deed for the abandoned well number 5. So last year, we approved in our budget for the 2021 budget that we would abandon that well because we had this little bitty piece of property at the old firehouse and we didn't use that well anymore. So we agreed that we would abandon that well. And so this piece, we have gotten that done. It's been capped off. We've gotten the letter from DNR saying that it is registered as being capped off. Everything is done correctly. So this is just to do a quick claim deed to the property owner for that little bitty piece that you see on your screen that's got lines through it.
That's what it used to look like.
Yeah, used to have the
That
well
was the
there.
well.
And now it's just that little that's the only piece that we have, so we had agreed that we would, this is just the last process for that, to quitclaim deed that over to the current property owner. And that's later on in the agenda.
Bill, correct? As a bill, correct?
Huh?
As a bill.
Sorry.
It's a bill later on the agenda.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
He's speaking soft tonight.
It's loud up here.
The next thing that I have for you tonight is the agenda format update. So we had talked at the previous meeting about updating our website and trying to be more transparent for the public, and talking about doing these PDFs on our website for all the agendas so when we post it. So now this is in the works. This isn't something you can currently see. It's just in the works. So if you see, she would click on the agenda and it would pop up just like normal. But you can click over here on the packet. So everything that you guys get in your packet, it would actually now be available for the public at the same time. So when you guys get that on Friday and we put the agenda out there on Friday, that would be out there as well. So I'm hoping that would help with maybe the transparency. And then if you go back, there would also be the minutes. Once the minutes are approved, they would be on there. They have some on there that's not approved yet, the drafts, but they would be on there for once they're approved. So if you guys are, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If you guys are okay with that, I'd like to eventually do this also with not just the Board of Aldermen, but also with the Planning and Zoning. It's just going to be a process to get with city staff and our IT guy and getting this all squared away. So it's going to take us a little bit, but I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of insight to see if that's what you're looking for.
Well, and just so we can preface this, if you didn't see or didn't attend the last meeting, it wasn't so much a huge concern with this, but this was a branch off of what we did talk about, and I think it's good for us to have and readily available. And number one, it'll save staff from being contacted constantly about it, to have it there and readily available, to just guide them to a website where it's available at the time that we receive it instead of the night of the meeting. But secondly, the minutes is a huge issue. We've had that and seen that out of other cities. I think it's good to address that and put that on there. But I would like to hear from the board on those comments as well.
So far, I like what I'm seeing. It's nice to be able to, if someone from the community wants to look at it, it's a great opportunity for them to actually go there and see it for themselves. So far, looks good. Appreciate your work.
Okay, so as long as you guys are okay with it, we're going to start moving forward in this direction. Like I said, it'll take some time, but we'll get there. Okay? And then the last thing that I have for you tonight is operational updates. So at the previous meeting, everybody agreed to do the National Night Out. My apologies, I didn't realize that's on a board meeting night. So my question to you, if you guys want to participate in that, if you guys want to participate in it, then we're going to have to postpone the meeting or only do one meeting in August. Otherwise, we can proceed with the meeting and we just wouldn't be able to, you folks wouldn't be able to participate in it.
Could you just ask them to move their National Night Out?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Just a thought.
Yeah, I don't think so. So
That's not going to work.
that is completely up to you guys, how you guys want to handle that.
You know, and give us a little bit to chew on it and kind of
Sure.
process it, and I think we can,
Yeah, we still have a while.
we can come back and address that. Thank you for presenting it, though.
Okay. And then just a reminder, we have a work session scheduled June 1st prior to the meeting, so that'll be at 5 o'clock. And then we also have a work session on June 8th, the following week, and that's at 5 o'clock also. That's for budget. So we'll be reviewing the budget. So that's not before a board meeting, that's just going to be a work session night. And Melody has
June
agreed
8th?
we'll have food.
Correct.
And what time?
5.
5. So 5 o'clock on June 1st, 5 o'clock on June 8th. And that's all I have for you guys tonight.
Thank you. All right, next we'll hear from Director of Operations, John Struckoff.
Good evening. The only thing I have for you tonight is the monthly admin report. The only thing I'd like to talk about is we still have plenty of positions open for employment in multiple different fields in the city. So we are getting more applicants, and but we're still looking. So
Are we using any sites to try and advertise on? I'm sure you are.
We've
but
tried everything.
multitudes.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll tell you, just CNN, MSNBC, if you don't watch the news, everybody's kind of in this crunch right now. I guess we'll share the pain.
It sounds like we have quite a few lifeguards, actually, so I don't know where all they came from. But
Can we retrain any of them for any other positions within the city?
Cross-train them?
Cross-train for everybody in the entire city would be nice.
Call them utility people?
Pull shifts. Every other day you're working somewhere else, so.
Yeah, Brad, teach them how to get on a lawnmower safely. Cut grass.
That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, John. Next, we'll hear from Director of Planning and Development, Tim Burks. No? Kind of looking at me strange.
I just had all of my projects that I presented.
It'll all be bills later on the agenda. So just to run down them real quick, Tim, I'll read it. The Morgan Street boundary line adjustment, which is SUBD-88. The Granada boundary line adjustment, SUBD-90. The Farmer Mutual Insurance, which is site plan 146. Bennington Place Apartments, which is this conditional use permit, 75. Bennington Park Place Apartments, which is site plan 147. Troy Road duplexes, preliminary final SUBD of 89. Park Hill zone change for ZC-67 and Park Hill subdivision preliminary plat for SUBD-87. And now would be the time for the discussion with the Board of Aldermen. So any comments on any of those, please address which one you'd like to talk about, and then we'll give you time to speak.
I'd like to address some of the my concerns on the Park Hill development, especially with it being rezoned or zoned as R3. I'm understand what we're looking at doing here, but probably my major concerns is Morgan Street's going to possibly get over 200 cars on it a day, in and out. There'll be 400 cars per day. So I'm a little concerned about that once the entire project's completed. So I'm very concerned about that. It's built, Morgan Street's not built to handle 200 cars a day. No way it possibly can. I didn't realize it until Brad said it's the second smallest street in the city. So that really concerns me. I'm concerned about families walking or biking up to Binkley Woods. I think with that heavy traffic, an opportunity for that heavy traffic is going to be a problem. The heavy traffic obviously is going to be a deterrent to a detriment to to Morgan Street owners there currently. I'm concerned about that. And one of my very big issues is the fact that we're going to have that much traffic going into one of our nicer parks here at Binkley Woods. That park is used frequently. My concern is that we push a bunch of traffic in there, we're going to have a problem with people wanting to even go to that park. So I'm very concerned about that. The other thing is on the R3, I understand, or I've looked through the regulations, and R3, the driveways on the residents are actually shorter than other. If we were zoned at something different than that, so I'm a little concerned about one, if they are shorter than that, we're going to have a problem with people parking on the streets a little more often, which is going to cause a problem for snow plows going through there. You're going to have a concern of safety, kids running in and out between cars. And I've actually taken the time and driven through Forest Hills, and that's what I'm seeing. So I know what's there. I see it. In addition, there's with the R3, there's 10 feet between two houses. That's not enough green space for me. I think we need more green space to help out with the runoff going down into the creek. So I have an issue with that as well. So overall, I don't know, I'm concerned with having 97 total houses there. I don't have any problem with the 20. I've got a little bit of a problem with that total number on the hill. I don't like to come to a meeting and not have at least some thoughts in my mind for fixing some of those issues, or at least some of my ideas. Take them as you like them. I really do not see that piece of property being R3 at all. I really don't want I don't think there's a place there for a car bridge to come across, because of the fact that if you do that, bringing a bridge across that creek will absolutely bring all the traffic out on Morgan Street. There's no question about it. No one's going to go out Highway U. Everyone in that subdivision is going to come across that creek. It's just a fact. I would be agreeable to a pedestrian bridge across there. That'll tie the two subdivisions together. I have no issue with that. And also, I need to see, or we need to see as a board, I think, some type of signed agreement. Mr. Wolf said there was something already on record. I'm sure there is. I'd like to see that. And for your exit out of the subdivision, because I'm saying that I would not like to see a bridge there. Maybe we could use Coleman Road as an emergency exit. So in my thoughts, I'd like to make a motion to table this so that the Board of Aldermen and the staff could revisit this and come up with all of our thoughts and ideas on it. And that's all I have. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask.
I'll second that motion.
All right, there's a motion to table 8.7. Which one? The zoning change?
The whole thing.
Zoning change in the preliminary plan?
Yes.
There's been a motion made by Alderman Corder to table the zoning change -67 and the SUBD-87. And it's been seconded by Alderman Deloy. Correct. If you would, roll call vote that, please.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Deloy,
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Corder?
Yes.
Motion has been made and passes 5-0 with one absent to table this for further exploration into the matter of the zoning and the plat, correct?
Correct. Is it all right if I make another motion here? I'd like to request a workshop with planning and zoning and the Board of Aldermen in the near future as well.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Council, we don't need a motion for that.
We don't need a motion.
Okay.
As long as we're in agreement that.
Okay. I'd like to see that as quickly as possible.
Is that in agreement with the board?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
So.
All right, we'll get it scheduled.
I don't get it. I thought I got a chance to speak. No.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
You had your opportunity to speak during the public comment.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you want to try and make arrangements to be able to discuss that with them afterwards, please?
Yeah, we'll I think I guess my question would be, is that generally the board's consensus? Do you share the same concerns? We can take this information, take it back to our planner, work with the property owner to address these? Is it pretty much what was articulated tonight? Okay. I think we've got some clear direction to contact Mr. Beckmeyer and see what we can figure out.
I guess my end thing is, I get how we flow with this due to certain things we've enacted, but I don't want the developer left out hanging without being able to discuss it, what was said during the meeting. I mean, I get we get our opportunity to say it too, but we need to make attempt with staff right afterwards to make contact.
I will say this about Mr. Beckermeyer. He gets frustrated, and I'm sure he's probably frustrated tonight, but every time we've asked to work with him and talk to him and work with him on it, he's been great to work with. So we'll be in communication with him.
And I'd soon this not go back to planning and zoning.
It will
I
go
would rather
back. It'll
come
go
to us.
2 weeks back. I think this will
Okay.
give us an opportunity to take this information and these observations and discuss it with Mr. Beckmeyer and bring it back to the board.
And
Hopefully
I do
resolve.
know frustrated respect, but I'll make sure that they're in contact with you right away. Any other items that would like to be discussed with the board? I have the list that I gave. All right, next will be the building commissioner, Mike Cross.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. You have my monthly report.
Any questions for Mike?
Yes, Mike, just for my general knowledge, help me out here. What kind of size of homes are we building today in the community that you're seeing going up?
They're all between 1,000 and 1,300 square feet.
What's the minimum?
1,000.
So are we seeing a drop off nationally? I know it's from last month, we're down 9%. Do we see any kind of slowing down in our community because of course, price of lumber, or is that gold, I mean?
It's actually wood gold right now.
I'm sorry?
We are seeing a little slowdown right now. The homes that are currently have foundations in the ground, they've already have commitments and they're full speed ahead. We've got 2 other developments. We're waiting for our infrastructure to be put in. And I believe that those permits will start picking up as that infrastructure comes available.
Do we have any specific, or do you have any, can you give me some names of contractors or developers that we have in town? Would that be a problem? I just for my own knowledge.
As far as what?
Developers, do we have, Mr. Beckmeyer obviously is one. Do we, is there any other companies that are, have multiple developments going on currently? Or is it just here and there?
Nothing currently. We have 2 large areas that have been approved already for subdivisions, but we don't have a developer assigned to them yet, nor do we have a builder that's went in there yet because they're not developed.
All right, thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from Mr. Cross? Thank you, Mr. Cross.
You're welcome.
Next word from Chief of Police Larry Eller.
Good evening. You have your copy of my monthly report. If you have any questions, it's not too remarkable.
Any questions for Chief?
The next thing I have is, didn't make it on the agenda, but the torch run is next Thursday, the 27th, and will end at Corey Park, probably around noon. So you're all welcome to come out and enjoy the festivities.
You say at noon?
Should be around noon, typically.
Guess it depends on the runners.
Yeah. It was short notice this year, so I think we've only got 10 or 12 runners, so they'll be tired by the time they get here.
So if no one in the public has attended, it's quite nice. They have some speakers from Special Olympics that actually come up and give a little bit of a testimony or let you know what years past and the experiences they've had. And actually a free lunch, which is kind of nice too, but just seeing the interaction's pretty good, pretty fun.
That's all I have.
Always encourage the support. Anything else?
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. All right, bills to ordinance. Call for first reading of bill number 25-21.
1 second.
I'm sorry.
You have an agenda item, Kalia accreditation update?
It's like one of the biggest things to happen to a police department, and you cannot embrace it or update it. Like,
Give an update.
Okay, I just thought maybe it got put off for some other reason.
No, we received our report back from our on-site and web-based assessment for Kalia, and no issues were discovered or noted, so we should be clear for the final step, which would be in July, which would be to actually receive our accreditation.
outstanding. Congrats. Internationally accredited. The chief does not like to brag about it, but this is a 5-year process.
deal.
So let's go back and revisit that for a minute.
It's a big deal.
We are one of the smallest municipalities to ever receive the accreditation.
We were one of the first rural municipalities. Who are some of the people that you sit at the table with at the seminars? Chief of New York PD, Miami PD.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty humble.
There's a humble individual.
It's daunting when, the other agencies have aircraft and their own jails and their own dispatch centers, their own police academies. We just have just us. So.
It's okay to thump your chest a little bit. It's good. It's a good
Well,
thing.
like I've said before, I'm not a chickens before they hatch guy. We still have to wait for July, so.
I get it, but it's okay, because we'll brag for you.
We're down to the last step.
Excellent.
Very good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you.
Good job.
So,
Now you can go.
yeah, I'm just, you
You're
get a
good.
little gun shy.
Sorry.
Wait.
Everybody hold off and as all the employees peel back and it lines right up. There's no solidarity there. All right, bills to ordinance. I'll entertain a motion for first reading of bill number 25-21.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Delloy, seconded by Alderman Crump.
An ordinance accepting the boundary adjustment for lots 4A and 5A of Block 13 of the original town of Warrenton by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 25-21.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Porter and seconded by Alderman Cullen.
Yes, it was.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Cullen.
Cullen. An ordinance accepting the boundary adjustment for lots 4A and 5A, Block 13 of the original town of Warrenton by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Delloy?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Porter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 26-21.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, seconded by Alderman Porter.
Sorry.
Ordinance accepting the boundary adjustment for part of Lot S, all of Lot T, and part of Lot U of Granada by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
I entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 26-21.
So moved.
Second. Who'd you get for the first one?
I got that one.
Alderman Delloy, seconded by Alderman Jasper.
Yeah.
Finally got in there.
Yeah.
You've been
Like-
trying.
it's like
Jeopardy. Quick to draw.
I'm sorry, who was first?
Jaspering. First one was, I guess, Delloy. No, Alderman Combs we're trying to jump into.
Okay.
So Alderman Delloy, seconded by Alderman Jaspering.
An ordinance accepting the boundary adjustment for part of Lot S, all of Lot T, and part of Lot U of Granada by the city of Warrenton, Missouri.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Delloy?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Porter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Jasper?
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 27-21.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by, did I get Alderman Cullum? By Alderman Cullum, seconded by Alderman Jasper.
A zoning ordinance as authorized under Section 405.390 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, approving a site plan for Farmers Mutual Insurance located at 906 South Highway 47.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 27-21.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, seconded by Alderman Deloy.
A zoning ordinance as authorized under Section 405.390 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, approving a site plan for Farmers Mutual Insurance located at 906 South Highway 47.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Deloy.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0, one absent. Entertain a motion for bill number, or first reading of bill number 28-21.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Crump, seconded by Alderman Deloy.
An ordinance approving the conditional use permit to allow Bennington Place Apartments located on the west side of Arlington Way.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 28-21.
So moved.
Second.
Who'd you have for second?
Jeff.
We'll go with motion made by Alderman Cullum, seconded by Alderman Jaspering. I know you guys were close on it.
An ordinance approving the conditional use permit to allow Bennington Place Apartments located on the west side of Arlington Way.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Deloy.
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 9-21.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, seconded by Alderman Cullum.
A zoning ordinance as authorized under Section 405.390 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, approving a site plan for Bennington Place Apartments located on the west side of Arlington Way.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 29-21.
So moved. Second.
Did you have his second? Got it. Motion made by Alderman Deloy, seconded by Alderman Jaspering.
A zoning ordinance as authorized under Section 405.390 of the Municipal Code of the City of Warrenton, Missouri, approving a site plan for Bennington Place Apartments located on the west side of Arlington Way.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Deloy.
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent. I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 30-21.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Alderman Deloy, seconded by Alderman Crump.
An ordinance accepting the record plat of the subdivision known as Troy Road duplexes by the City of Warrenton, Missouri.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 30-21.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Quarter, seconded by Alderman Crump. I'm sorry, Cullum. Wow, too many C's.
An ordinance accepting the record plat of the subdivision known as Troy Road duplexes by the City of Warrenton, Missouri.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Jaspering?
Yes.
Alderman Deloy.
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent. So, bill number 31 and 32, Counselor. If
Are
it's been
tabled.
tabled, do we need to go ahead and still read them?
No.
So those,
I thought it was 32 and 33, right? Oh, you're right. Strike.
31 and 32.
Yeah. 31 and 32. I stand corrected.
Bill number 31-21 and 32-21 have been asked or been approved to be tabled by the board and will be addressed. At this time, Bill, we jump to which one? 3321? I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of Bill number 33-21.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Corder, seconded by Alderman Crump.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri approving execution of a quitclaim deed to Ben Beckemeyer Construction, LLC.
Entertain a motion for the second reading of Bill number 33-21.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Deloy, seconded by Alderman Jaspering.
An ordinance of the City of Warrenton, Missouri authorizing execution of a quitclaim deed to Ben Beckemeyer Construction, LLC.
Roll call vote.
Alderman Deloy,
Yes.
Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Corder,
Yes.
Alderman Cullum,
Yes.
Alderman Jaspering.
Yes.
Bill passes 5-0 with one absent. I will entertain a motion to close the regular Board of Alderman meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Motion made by Alderman Crump, seconded by Alderman Corder. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The ayes are in the majority, therefore we are adjourned.